Hi, Challenge Innovators. It's Dave Linton with Bigelow again. Hope you're getting excited about this challenge and digging in. You'll recall that this is our fourth video, and on the first three, the first one we talked about the private transaction market. The second, we talked about the different kinds of investors in this market. The third, we talked about our methodology for developing a buyer's list, if you will, or the universe of prospective investors. And in this short video, I want to basically describe what we do once we have that investor list. So how do we evaluate or curate this universe of prospective investors? We call this the funnel, so you can look at the slide and read. I won't read it for you, but basically how we move from a very, very large universe down to a smaller subset where we spend our, the vast amount of our time and energy working directly with the individual investors to share information back and forth about our client company and about their interests. We can't do that obviously with so many up at the top of the funnel. So it's an evaluative process, if you will, going through this selection process. And really it starts with, at the top of the funnel, a one-way or outbound methodology, using those tools we talked about in the Kaizen to develop the prospective list and learn about those companies. There's a data set that's available on businesses. Usually there's more data available on public companies than private companies, and that's part of the challenge. And then add to it where these companies are located worldwide. It's harder to find companies, information on companies in China and Singapore than it is in the US. So that's a complexity. But then we gather information on those businesses, make some cuts, if you will, on, well, that company's too small, that company doesn't have the capital, that company doesn't show any interest in our particular kind of client business's product or service. And then we reduce the universe, if you will, and then we start having two-way communication. That's the blind, no-name discussions. So we're starting to talk with these companies directly through outreach to learn more about their acquisition criteria and their capital available to understand if we should include them in our process. And then the third stage with that further subset is really to focus on sharing more about our client company. We execute a strict non-disclosure agreement with the prospective investor, the individual investors, and then we share some information about our client company. So that's the process to eventually get down to initial offers or indications of interest from the individual investors on our client company, which would include an indication of how they would value the business. Just to give you a sense, this is a kind of a typical step-by-step example where we have identified over 500 companies at the top of the funnel, if you will, the initial research phase, and then go through this process of getting down to 12 initial offers. So you can see where, just intuitively, the old adage, garbage in, garbage out, really matters here, right? I mean, success in getting down to the key initial offer stage and getting, these companies be the right companies, the ones that are highly motivated and highly interested in our particular client company, which is unique, is really important. So success is really the quality of that initial universe or buyer's list, and then how we evaluate and curate them. And that's where we seek improvement from you in our process. So next time we're going to talk a little bit more about the results of a example of this and what it means.